Somewhere along the way, we started believing good parenting meant self-sacrifice, that the more we neglect ourselves, the more we love our kids. But here's the truth. Your kids don't need a parent who's constantly running on empty. They need one who's alive, grounded, and growing. Welcome back to the Fitness League, helping busy humans build strong bodies, sharper minds, and better lives. Join us each week as we cut through the noise, challenge the norms, and empower you to train smarter and live stronger. Today's episode, we are going to be balancing parenthood and personal well-being. It's the idea that self-care is not a reward, it's actually a responsibility, and we will plug where this inspo came from. I believe you ladies found one of your favorite followers. Followings?
Followees?
Followees?
Follows.
Sounds like a name. That sounds like a name. Followees.
Yeah, I saw Dr. Becky. She's like a parenting expert, psychologist lady. I saw her on a podcast, and this is like where that snippet came from. But she is talking about parenting, but I couldn't stop thinking about how applicable it was on the health and fitness side of things. And she basically goes on to talk about, well, the original question asked to her was, do parents need to always put their kids' needs above their own? And it sparked this really great dialogue around needing to be a sturdy leader for your kids, and that we try so hard to put our kids first and take care of our kids that sometimes that often means putting ourselves on the back burners and a parent not taking care of themselves. And she goes on to talk about how parents, or rather kids, don't need selfless martyrs as parents, they need sturdy leaders. And I feel like it tracks with how we have talked about parenthood and health and fitness in the past in regards to being a sturdy leader. And we love our kids and we will always prioritize their needs. And also, we are better leaders and role models and parents when we also prioritize ourselves. And I think that we conflate prioritizing ourselves. Like, people assume, oh, well, if you prioritize yourself, that means you're not prioritizing your kid. No. Don't get it twisted. I can do both.
Well, you know what? It's the all or nothing mindset bleeding into that. The all or nothing mindset bleeds into every aspect of health and fitness, and this is no exception. But I love how she called it sturdy leaders, because we know, like, kids need consistency. They need stability, they need routine. We are on both sides here very much consistent in routine with our kids when it comes to sleep and just how we help them fuel their bodies and just the words that we say. So I think this is just a great example that if we're parenting them this way and we care a lot about how they're parented, that also means we need to care a lot about how we take care of ourselves. And I think it's just such an important conversation. It's something that I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know really where it started, but I don't know like where the idea started that once you become a parent, you should just forget about yourself. But you guys know, like with the whole mother shift thing, like how many women just really resonated with that message. And I didn't even think it was going to be that big of a thing, because I'm like, people say this stuff all the time, like this message is out there, but at the same time, it's like the way that I put it out there and that it's been portrayed, it's like for some reason it just really clicked. And I think I guess a lot of moms and dads just can get so sucked into being a parent that it's really easy to lose those parts of yourself and lose the ability and desire to want to take care of yourself. And you don't even realize it's happening until someone else points it out, or until like you're so far not gone into it, but like you're so deep into it that then one day you wake up and you're like, what happened? And for a lot of people, that doesn't happen until their kids are grown, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. I've had a few DMs from a couple of not older moms, but just like moms with older kids. And they're like, I wish I heard this 20 years ago, because I feel like I need this today. And I'm just at the point where I'm just starting to focus on myself again now that my kids are adults. And I think that it's so sad. Like, you should not put your health and your self-care to the back burner just because someone else is relying on you. Like, there is room for both.
I think yours is a special case because people relate to you, they look up to you. You are the social media influencer, and people just connect very well with a lot of things you say on there. So it was definitely going to resonate. I think it's funny to kind of tie this into a recent post to the same effect. People, like when you post, people feel seen one way or another. And not that you post controversial content very often, and this isn't even controversial, but the wine post, like you and Jamie working out together. This is our girl time. We choose this over wine night.
Let me read what exactly I wrote for anybody who didn't see it, because the way that I wrote it is important. So the direct quote: some moms meet for wine night, and it's just me and Jamie, one of my very good friends, our neighbor, working out. We meet for weight dates. I didn't say some moms meet for wine night and they suck. Some moms meet for wine night and they're the worst. Some moms meet for wine night. Some moms, or we meet for weight dates. That's it. That's all I said. And then in the caption, I said six kids between us, and we choose this over wine nights any day. Girlfriends who just get it on all levels are so rare. Expressing my love for my friend. That's all I wrote.
How dare you?
How dare I? Some, very, very few, a couple of people took offense to that. And my guess is it made them look inward, or maybe they don't have somebody in their life that they can do healthier things with, and they had some thoughts. But at the end of the day, I think this has always kind of been the issue with alcohol and talking about alcohol, because alcohol is so normalized. And we did a whole podcast on alcohol, didn't we?
Plenty.
Right? Yeah.
I feel like
we've talked about it a lot here. But I think because it is so normalized, that the unpopular opinion can feel very, I guess, offensive is the word. I don't even know. But
controversial. It
makes you look inward. And that's really what it comes down to, is when someone is doing something that maybe you're not doing, maybe you don't think you could ever do, or you just have never deemed it realistic. It almost makes you look at what you're doing and compare your life. And our friend Jill, I don't know if you saw what I reposted that Jill said. Mm-mm. Jill Presley, is that who you say her last name?
Yeah.
She's great. I have it here because she was in my DMs after I posted this too. And she said, for some things, I believe it 100% is about insecurity. They're projecting, they're triggered. They see someone preaching about zero, like she gave an example, like if you see someone preaching on the internet about how they don't do any screen time for their kids, and you do a lot of screen time for your kids, you're going to compare. You're going to be like, am I doing something wrong because I'm not because I am doing screen time?
Right.
You feel shame. And that's, I think, somewhat of a normal response, I guess. But I also think with the internet and social media and how everything is so in your face these days, it's really easy for that to just be the immediate reaction and the immediate trigger. And your immediate response isn't to sit with those thoughts, it's to respond and leave a comment and lash out and project. So I just think it was very interesting. And this happens every time I post about alcohol. I'm never shaming anybody. I'm not directly shaming people. I'm simply sharing my journey, my thoughts, my opinions, my experience. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you drink alcohol. But depending on where you're at with that, what your relationship is to that, it may feel like somebody is shaming you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes me even think, I think we talked about this on the postpartum fat loss episode that we did recently, but the comments that I had on Jordan's post, how dare you tell women to move their bodies postpartum? And I'm like, whoa, what? I'm sorry. What? We're upset by this? Women should be resting. How dare you tell them to take care of themselves? They shouldn't be doing anything. And I'm like, I'm confused. Shouldn't we all want to encourage women to take care of themselves, or just humans in general to take care of themselves? Is it possible that society is trash right now because most people are not taking care of themselves? I don't know. Just maybe.
Translation, you're encouraging people to do things that I'm not doing and I don't like it.
Right. And then I come back to not every piece of content is for you. If it doesn't resonate, keep scrolling.
I think that one's probably for everybody. I think a lot of the health and fitness stuff is for everybody, whether you want to hear it or not. I think it's fair when you look around and all right, things aren't very good right now. What can we do about it? I think a lot of it, not everything. And again, your point obviously, again, is nuanced. But I think for a lot of this stuff, just listen to it, man. I
think most people are happy to yell about a problem without having any desire to be a part of the solution.
And that's where I think we get really mind boggled is... I'll speak for myself and you guys can throw it in. But if there is a problem, I don't just settle for that being okay, this is just how it is in anything, literally anything. It could be something you can't change that. Okay, well, if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to. We're not just going to do it because this is the norm. We're going to figure out a way through it. And I think we, for whatever reason, as a society, are just trained to be like, well, this is the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, this is the way it is, and it feels like there's nothing you can do about it because nobody's doing anything about it. You could do anything, literally anything. Now, some are more realistic than others, some are more extreme than others, but there are no possibilities that can't be executed. We have talking,
Josh, that would
walking.
take personal responsibility, though.
It sure would. It sure would. And we couldn't blame it on anybody else. But it's time to step up. And
It's a lot easier, though, to have a scapegoat. It's a lot easier to blame other people for your problems.
It certainly is. But when can we look at ourselves in the mirror and say, yes, I get the benefit of being able to default blame to other people, but life still sucks. Like, where is that trade-off? Where is that breaking point? We talked about you see real change when you hit your lowest point, you hit rock bottom. Where is rock bottom? Because right now it feels like for a lot of people, it's just this never-ending, this boulder that just falls to the bottom of the ocean. They haven't hit the bottom yet. You're pretty deep. Everything else is self-collapsing. Like, how low do you have to get to say, nope, this isn't it. I'm not settling for this. It's time to move forward. And I know it feels like we've taken a tangent, but this still relates directly back to what we're talking about today. It does not have to be the way that it is if you are not happy with the way that it is. If you don't have the energy, if you're always stressed out, you're always burnt out, you feel like you're on with the kids all the time, but you have nothing to give them, you can change it. It might feel impossible because you haven't seen the way yet. That path hasn't been paved. You might have to be the trailblazer. You might have to show the rest of your family because you haven't seen it as a child, as a cousin, as whatever, just looking back and reflecting on it. But you can blaze your own trail. I want to try this thing. Let's see how this works in trial and error. And you might fail 15 times before you get one piece that you can use and move forward and make better. But you do not, if you are not happy, if you do not love the way life is right now, you do not have to sit there and just take it. Figure it out and move forward.
And that's a great point, because there were plenty of people in the comments of that post too who say, I have a glass of wine here and there with my friends, and I love this message. This is not offensive to me. And that's the difference. Like, they're happy. They have a glass of wine every once in a while. They're focusing on their fitness goals. They're focusing on their health in other areas, and they're cool. They're fine. They're not taking offense to a post on social media that really should not be offensive. That is the difference.
I find those comments so helpful because it tells other people who maybe don't align with the message that it's not, that this post wasn't just for sober people.
Right.
Like, it was, first of all, it had nothing really to do with alcohol. It was just like a shout out to Jamie and like getting to do that together. And like, you just kind of remarked at what that relationship looks like for you guys. And the fact that other people are chiming in saying like, I love this. Like, I'm not sober, but I love this post. And I love that you have this friendship. And I love that XYZ. That's the difference between being able to view something without automatically placing yourself as the victim to someone else's story.
That's exactly
Even if the post doesn't apply to you, those people were able to say, love it. Doesn't apply to me, but like, love that you have this. Versus, how dare you? I'm upset. This didn't apply to me. You're shaming moms. No. You are just trying to make yourself the main character in Alessandra's post because you fell victim to something that you are dealing with internally. That's not the same. And we are not the same.
And it's funny because I was talking with a couple of them in the DMs after. One of them was very angry and DM'd me. One of her arguments was that, one, there are some health benefits to wine and alcohol. And I sent her, who were you just with this weekend? Is his name Joe? No, not Joe.
Joe Zundel.
Joe. Yeah. It is Joe.
Yeah.
He has a great post about alcohol, and we talked about this in the episode, I believe, the U.S. Surgeon General's like updated 2025 guidelines. There are no health benefits to alcohol. Zero. So that's whatever. And then the other thing that they said, this might have been a different person, or I don't remember if it was the same one. This is not supporting women.
Really?
Is it?
Is
it not?
I think showing people that you can live an alcohol-free lifestyle and still have fun with your friends and prioritize your health while also having 6 children running around, I think that actually is a really great message for women. But again, that's the difference between trying to make yourself the victim in someone else's story versus taking ownership or looking inward or doing some introspection, some self-reflection.
Why does this aggravate me so much? Why does this make me so mad? I can honestly say I have never once, and I've been on social media for, I don't know how many years now, 12 years, 15 years, I don't even know. Before Instagram was what Instagram is today. If something pissed me off, I've never left a comment on somebody's post telling them that it pissed me off. I've taken it, if it really pissed me off, I've taken it offline to friends. I've talked about it with people. I've thought about it with myself. Why does this piss me off so badly? And sure, there's plenty of things online that piss us all off regularly, but that's the difference.
We talk to each other about it. We don't start trolling people in the comments.
Right. And
we just bring it to the podcast.
We just bring it here to you guys. But my point is, like, is that really making you feel better? Is it? Maybe it does. I don't know. But is that the solution to the problem here for you? That this post is the problem for you. Is that the solution that makes it all better?
Well, the goal is by leaving my hateful comment, I will make you feel a little bit like how I feel from reading your post.
I guess that's fair.
I think it's like retaliation. I'm going to leave this nasty comment because it hurt me so much that I want to hurt you back. So I'm going to let you know how terrible of a human you are, or how disappointed I am in you, or that I'm unfollowing you.
So we're understanding the internal pressure that people are
Josh
feeling.
is like, okay, circle back, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to circle back. But I mean, this really encapsulates the internal pressure people are feeling.
Yeah.
When it comes back to the external, the cultural pressure, there's this idea that you have to give 100% to your kids. It's this invisible guilt of putting yourself first anytime that you try to. So why do we think that is? And what are the repercussions we see from those things?
I read something the other day. It was an article talking about how research shows that children are happier when their parents are happy, which shouldn't sound very groundbreaking, but you're like, oh, that's nice to hear. Like, when I'm happy, it means my kids are going to be happier. And if nothing else, that reason alone is a great reason to take care of yourself. And when you break it down, it's like there's an emotional modeling piece of it. Like, kids are highly influenced by how their parents respond to things and how their parents set a positive tone for the family and how parents navigate their own emotions. Great, that's going to translate to my kids. Just like more positive family environment, parents who are unhappy, parents who are not taking care of themselves. Kids then are either bearing that emotional burden from their parents not being able to like regulate themselves or have their own emotional regulation skills. The happy parent isn't going to rely on their kids for their child's, hold on, how am I trying to say this? Rely on their kids for their own happiness or like their own regulation is what I'm trying to say. And so when we think about like parents being happy, parents working out, parents taking care of themselves, we have kids who are then happy because they see happy parents. They see parents who are modeling that behavior. They see parents taking care of themselves. They see parents exercising. And it's not just about exercise. It's all of it. But there are improved childhood outcomes when parents are happier. We see better problem-solving skills, better cognitive abilities, better academic performance in those kids.
I want to talk about a direct and indirect implication of this as well. So direct, for with the kids 100% of the time, always on. Our job is to be, the circus leader. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and make sure you're happy. And as soon as this happens, I'm going to do this. One, we're not teaching any independence. They're not learning how to create and overcome challenges on their own. Like, they become limited when everything's handed to you. Like, it's not just the rich kids who get all these things handed to them and it's the easiest life ever. Like, it's also the parents who just do everything for their kids and the kids don't have to worry about a thing. There is something to be said for autonomy for the kids to go be independent and do things. So you're kind of limiting them on the one aspect. On the other side, modeling behavior is such a big thing. So our kids are going to pick up the habits that we show them more so than the habits that we quote unquote try to teach them. We should be moving our bodies. We should be working out. We should be eating healthy. We should be treating others with kindness. Well, if we never move our bodies and we are significantly out of shape, And as a result of, being on with the kids 100% of the time and never working out and never taking care of ourselves, we're short. And, we're yelling at people in the car when we're driving to work or dropping the kids off of school. Those are the things that they're seeing. So those are the things that they're going to replicate. And this is, you want to take a view of this microcosm of the world right now. These are a lot of the things being passed on, this anger, this negativity, this resentment, this selfishness. Those are the things we see. You walk outside, you look left and right, and you can just feel it in the air. But if you are taking care of yourself, I was talking, me and my neighbor were doing yard work, and then we met like on the corner, and then we ended up just talking for like 30 minutes about this stuff. It all starts with your mental health. Everyone is so burnt out. They're working such long hours. They don't take care of themselves physically. They're not taking care of themselves mentally. Like, even if they have fitness on their mind, they're not thinking about breathing exercises and meditation and any type of mindfulness practice. And that's kind of a big piece that's missing right now. Because when you don't have those coping mechanisms, we limit the amount of buffer we have for reactivity. So we're very, very overreactive to everything that happens. Any minor inconvenience. They give you the wrong coffee at Starbucks. Did the world actually just end? Can you just politely tell them that they gave you the wrong coffee and wait 2 more minutes because it only takes them 2 minutes? Or do you have to make a big scene in the line and ruin everybody's day? It's these simple little things.
I'm the person that won't tell them at all. And I'll say, thank you so much. And I'll leave because I won't even want to make them remake it again.
Exactly. Joel, you've talked a lot about the ripple effect. Like, you're leaving the positive ripples. Other people, not so much. And this is how we can, exponentially change the world, like in a day, is just your attitude towards others.
And I do think when it comes to parenting and parents not taking care of themselves, I think it's multifaceted, right? Most people are in dual income households where like both parents are working, they need childcare, they're away from their kids a good portion of the day, they're working, they're stressed at work, they come home from work, they feel like they have nothing left. Like there's so much to unpack there that it's not just like, hey, be happier and your kids will be happy. Like, I understand that this is a nuanced topic and there's a lot to unpack. I also sometimes wonder if generationally, I think there's a lot of really amazing things that our generation is doing. Like, our generation, I feel like, was the first to like be in therapy more and talk about their feelings more. And like, I saw something a while ago that was like, our generation, millennials, are like out here parenting their kids, parenting themselves, and parenting their parents. And I think that's sometimes very true to a degree. I also sometimes wonder if the pendulum has swung too hard for people. And we've gone from like the generation of like your kids were just kind of like in the background of everything you did and like they existed and like they turned out fine is like the common phrase there. And then you have the overcorrection of the people who are potentially over therapizing their kids or trying to make everything so like trying to make their kids so front and center and giving them so much attention that it becomes a disservice to the child and the parent. And so again, we always come back to like middle ground, messy middle, compromise. It's not or, it's and, like that, the all or nothing. We always, I feel like, come back to this like all or nothing mentality about this versus that. It can be both. It could be in the middle. There can be compromise. And sometimes I think that's a piece of it. Like we've overcorrected too hard.
You're right. And the pendulum is such a huge factor in so many things. One thing that I have been struggling with, and again, I'm on the pendulum, like, and I'm on one side right now. Before, I don't even know when the craziness started with everything that we're doing, but before that, at some point, I think we were in the groove at home and doing all the things with the kids and taking trips and doing all this stuff. And it was like, not 100% about them, but it was primarily about them. And then work was sprinkled in and everything was fine. And la-di-da-di-da. Things get a little harder. Things pick up. We shift. I'm at the point now where like I'm struggling because work hours are so long, but I also know like given my history with mental health, if I'm not doing certain things, it's bad for everybody. So it's like I either do these things or leave because I will become toxic. Like I have to take care of my mental health, and that starts for me physically and then a couple mental things that I do. But it's gotten to the point now where it's work, do the things I need to do to take care of myself, and then like I don't want to say the bare minimum with friends and with family specifically, and spousal time is nothing right now, but it's not quite the bare minimum. I'm spending time with our kids, but I know it's not enough. Like now it's like I'm taking care of the things I know that I need to, and I am there with my kids, and I'm taking to like, if it's 20 minutes to, if we're reading books or playing a game or just like, it's been a long day, we're just watching a movie together and being together. But I am also understanding I need to pull back this way and be like, whatever has to happen for work to be more efficient, or draw the line as this is unnecessary, I need to put back into the family bucket. I'm also analyzing that. So it has been incredibly difficult, and you're never going to master it. And the pendulum's always moving. So you catch it and then you try to refine it back the other way and like try to find the middle. But it feels like a game of ping pong sometimes. Just looking at the kids and I'm like, I feel like I didn't see you very much today. And I've been saying that for a day, a week, a month. How long has this been? It's tough. So like, even as we're preaching about this stuff, we don't have this shit figured out.
And it's funny because I'm in the opposite boat with that right now. I'm with the kids most of the day, most days. And I think I got to the point Friday, I think it was Friday, when I was just having a day. It all kind of just was like, whoa. Not necessarily like I love homeschooling. I love being with the kids. I'm at the point where I'm like, how can I find more time to work? I don't have enough time to work right now. I see him working all day and I'm like, I wish I had that, like an hour of just silence to work on something. So it's like opposite, because that's what we need to do to make it work right now. We're figuring out our groove with the homeschool stuff and just everything. But it is at the point where it's like, we don't see each other. And I told him that on Friday. I'm like, I hate this right now. I don't ever see you. We barely even have dinner together anymore. And then, we go through the weekend, we see, I have been not completely unplugging, but unplugging a lot more from everything for the weekend and just like being. And it's been really nice. So, we got together with the kids and with our neighbors down the road on Saturday and had some downtime. And then Sunday we went to church, and I feel way better now. But it is just a really hard season of life, and we're still absolutely not perfect with it, but you do have to find that like middle ground, because it is very easy to be on one side of it or on the other, and you get sucked in, and it's like a month goes by and you're like, what just happened? And you have to be it's something you have to be so intentional with every single day, because it's so easy for it to just happen and you don't even realize that it's happening.
And to even bring it back to the all or nothing, like completely resonate with it. There's the pendulum over here, there's the all or nothing over there. In my mind, and this is not how I want it to be, but it's like full sprint, stop. So like in a month, we're going to Disney for a couple of days, and that's going to be a full unplug. And I'm like, I'm going to be with the kids the entire time, and it's 100% about the kids. Like I've probably talked about this on the podcast a couple of times. I'm not Disney guy. Like I do not enjoy just going to Disney World. It's not my jam. I love seeing how happy the kids are there, and that makes me happy. And that is why I love going to Disney World. Like, it's not like they're self-entertained, but getting to run around. What was Cora? 8 months old the last time we went. And then we went to this Lion King show, if you guys remember that. And she watched the entire thing like in amazement. And that was more so for like Kai and Sloan. Like, they're going to love this.
Right.
I don't know how Reese liked it. Cora was mesmerized it was like a 30 or 45-minute show. She was mesmerized the entire time as an 8-month-old. I'm like, this makes me so happy. So full sprint, there's our full stop. And then it's like, we need to find something in the middle over here sooner than later.
Yeah, even the trip that I just went, I spoke at this event in North Carolina last week, and Sam was like, hey, like, feel free to bring Brant with you. And I was like, he's probably gonna have to stay home with the kids. And we ended up like Brant and me and my parents sat down months ago to see like, hey, are you guys around on this date? Are you in Florida? Are you in New York? Like, where are you? Would you potentially want to be with the kids? Because Brant was like, I would love to like get away with you for a few days. And like, it's a work trip for you, but also if I can get a few days off work and your parents are going to be with the kids, then like, let's get away for a few days together. And like, it'll be a work trip and also we'll have a few days together. And so like those things like that, where like, where can we just inject a little like spouse time, especially if it's something that's like a work trip anyway, that we can now like kill two birds with one stone and like, hey, this is work trip. And also like we get to go out to dinner at night and like have a hotel room to ourselves at night, and the kids are taken care of and all of that. So I feel ya on a season of what the hell is happening? Where are we? And We are all just trying to do the best we can to make the best of the cards we're dealt. The cards that we asked for.
Season's supposed to be like
also.
3 months. This
I was
has
just
been like
gonna
a
say,
15-month
I'm
season.
gonna say, like, the cards were dealt. Like, we're not over here living some traumatic event. Like, we are very much working on things.
We
that
are
we
choosing this,
yeah.
and we love it.
Very much working on things that we absolutely love right now, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have its hard parts.
Yeah. And to Josh's point, it's been over a year at this point of us just like grind mode, which I feel like collectively have not had in our business in a long time. Like, not to say we were coasting, like you're always kind of grinding when you're a business owner, but like to this extent, it hasn't been like this in a really long time. So to be here as parents with all the other things, it just feels like a lot. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel somewhat. But I think that's the other thing that at least we have to keep in mind too, is like, we're business owners. Like, there's always going to be stuff going on. It's always going to feel like a lot. And you really can't be like waiting for the season to end, because it's not really ever going to end. Will there be lighter seasons? Yes, we'll get there eventually again. But if we waited until the end of this busy season to figure out, when can we go on a date night? When can we sneak away to like get something in? When can we just like start to have dinner together as a family again? Like, we don't have to wait for that. Like, we can start to, like you said, Joelle, inject those little blips here and there. And that's really how you need to approach, whether it's your health and fitness, whether it's anything, like just start injecting, not steroids. Josh is about to come in with something, not Botox, but just inject the right things, and it does make a difference, even if it's just 10 minutes at a time.
And I feel like that parallels to this entire conversation. Like, where can you inject different habits? Where can you inject different choices? It only takes one decision, one choice, one habit that you start implementing that could drastically improve your life. Maybe it's, I'm going to go on a 5-minute walk every day, or I'm going to read 5 pages in a book. I read last night before bed, by the way. Mark down the date.
What was the name of the book?
The red one. You got me too. There's a red one and a yellow one. It's the red one. Good to great. Good to great. Good to great. See?
I'm gonna have Brant start sending me photo proof. Picture didn't happen.
In my defense, well, in his defense, he said to me like 5 hours before bed last night, like, hey, tonight, no TV before bed. We're reading. And I was like,
that's how Josh talks to Kai.
Fine.
That was literally the conversation we had yesterday. I'm like, we are turning this off. I don't like how you've been acting, the attention span of a squirrel. Like, we're playing games. We played Sorry for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then read
Did you notice such a difference? When my kids get more screen time than usual, their behavior sucks. And I'm like, I know that you've been having more screen time because you're like not listening. Yeah, your attention span's different. They're just like less emotionally resilient. And I'm like,
yes,
no more TV.
Clingy, couldn't do anything by himself. I'm like, we are stopping this right now. But I think everything we're talking about now, you need to be aware. At the end of the day, awareness creates change. Through awareness, we create change. So if we are aware, we know we need to do something, and it doesn't have to be a big something, but start taking little steps. Can you do the 5-minute walk like you just said? Can you end the day, even if it's just reading next to each other and you're not just zoned out on the couch? Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you can do a couple of things that are a little more interactive. I suggested naked yoga the other day. She said, no, thank you. I said, all right. And I'm going to watch this show with Ted Lasso and we'll keep cruising.
Well, that's such a great show.
I just got the free trial through the new phone thing.
It's so good.
It's such a feel-good show. That's why, like,
such a feel-good show.
I've been off TV for a while, so we've been doing YouTube videos as we're studying, okay, what kind of content do we want to create? My parents have been talking about Ted Lasso, and I got the trial. I'm like, let me just see. And it has sucked me in because in such a dark world right now, it is such an uplifting story. I don't like soccer at all, but I'm like, this is what I need right now.
It is such a great show. Stay, whatever the free trial is, buy whatever the trial is, because it is worth watching the whole show. And it's exactly that. It's a really good, just like feel good show. I cried like almost every episode of that show because it's just so good.
Every pep talk. Like, this hits.
Every Ted Lasso pep talk. So Josh, what would you say? And granted, I don't think that many of our listeners are aligned with this thought, but it's very likely that they know people in their life who do have this type of thought. What do you say to the person who, you know, from like a personal responsibility standpoint, what do you say to the person who's like, well, you just it's easier for you. You, like maybe me and Alessandra, you grew up with parents who worked out. So like you just grew up with that and that was your environment. That wasn't my environment. My parents didn't do X, Y, or Z, or they didn't work out, or they didn't model that behavior. And therefore, I'm just not built to do that, or that's not ingrained in me like it was for you.
It's a great question. And that jumps us right into the second section of this episode here. Childhood certainly shapes us. Your environment certainly shapes you. But adulthood is what has the key to free you. And that is what we kind of talked about right off the top as far as accepting the way things are versus creating solutions for the things that you do not like. You want change. We can only sit back and passively take the punches for so long. If it is that bad, what decisions can you make to make it a little bit better? And then build on that and keep moving forward. But to blame your parents, to blame your environment, and to do nothing, like maybe you had the worst scenario in the world, and I feel for you. Like, I apologize. We are blessed. Our privilege is that we had great parents. Absolutely. I own that 1,000%. I know some people don't grow up with them. Not even just parents. Our entire family was so close growing up. We had a huge family. It was all the events. We did family vacations, all of us together. Like nothing fancy, but just being together all the time and having that support system around us. I know many people do not have that, and I wish that you did. I really, really do. The world would be a much brighter place. We'd be a lot happier. Feel a lot more supported, and we would have more compassion between each other. But if you are in the opposite of that scenario, you don't have to stay there. Whether or not you can relocate, whether or not you can make certain decisions, there is always something immediately in your power to change. It can feel like the tiniest thing in the world, but again, back to your ripple effect, it will start creating change. And those little things become bigger things, which then become bigger things, which then become life-changing things. And it takes a little time, and it takes consistency, and it takes dedication. But I'm telling you, man, you don't have to settle for anything. You don't. Whether you've been thinking about this from the time you were a little kid or something that's come across more recently in your life, like this seems kind of weird. I wish this wasn't the way. It doesn't have to be the way. You want to talk about crazy scenarios. You could, if you really wanted to, you could uproot your entire family and go build a cabin in the woods and go off grid. Like you could take it to that extreme if you felt there was some benefit to doing that. You want to talk about total game changer? Like that's a total game changer. I'm not quite there, but
we're close.
You get the idea.
We're not that far off.
Do you think like even a year ago, like you talk about in the faith episode, you talked about your upbringing with church and how you were never into it, you were against it. We invited your dad to church this weekend. Do you think he would have ever heard those words come out of your mouth even just a couple months ago?
I don't think my parents ever write anything off with me, good or bad. I don't know how you want to take that. I think it makes sense.
But just using it as an example, like you were even just your own self-belief, like did you think you would ever be taking your family to church every weekend?
Probably not. Again, I'm not even going to put a hard no on myself, but probably not.
Just go with it, Josh. She needs you for an example. Just go with it.
Trying to give the example, like you didn't grow up with that in a very strong way. Like I did to an extent in a different way, but you didn't. And now you've been reading the Bible every night for a month now, and it's just like a completely different side of you that I've never seen before. You've never seen before. So it's just like a great example of how that's something that you didn't grow up with, and now that is very present in your life today. So regardless of your scenario, and I've had a few comments like the post that we put up on our Levolution page of me running with Kai telling the story about how, when I went for my first run with my mom, that has gained a lot of traction. And there were some comments saying like, I didn't have that with my parents, but I can't wait to have that with my future kids or with my kids now. And I would comment back to them and I would say, how cool is it that you get to be the change for your family? Like when your great grandkids look at what you guys were doing today, you are the person that changed the whole thing. And talk about the ripple effect there. Like you can be the change for your entire family that will affect generation upon generation to come. And I think that is so cool and so awesome and so even possibly more empowering than somebody who already had that to start.
I think we bring back the Be the Change shirts.
Bringing back the Be the Change shirts. I think your mom left a comment, if I recall, on that post, Alessandra, that I'm pretty sure I liked her comment because I'm fairly certain she wrote something like how nice it was to read that because at the time when you were that kid that she was asking to go on a run with her, that she felt like she was being too hard on you. And I think so many of us can relate to that, especially as it pertains to fitness and like wanting to involve our kids in health and fitness behaviors without forcing it. It was so actually validating to see your mom say like, and see, I thought I was being too hard on you. And little did I know it had that amazing impact on you. It was probably such a sweet, like full circle moment for your mom.
It was. I'm sure it was. My mom, you're probably listening to this podcast episode.
Hi, Belle.
Right, but it's true. I think, I think that speaks to where we're at with parenting right now too, Joelle, with this whole like, not to say there's anything wrong with gentle parenting and like approaching things in that way, but at the same time, we don't want to completely lose all sense of discipline and doing hard things and just encouraging our kids to do these things that they might not love to do in the moment, and they might fight us on every step of the way. Look at, obviously, like I love fitness now. That her pushing me to finish that run did not make me never want to run again. I didn't run for a while, and it wasn't like something where I was like, oh, I'm going to be a marathoner at 8 years old. Like, of course not. But I eventually found my way back to it because that stuck with me. And now this is my job. I think that's a great point, is like, we don't want to just be their friend either. Like, we don't want to be so gentle with them that it's just like we're their friend and there's no, it's not even just discipline, but like no consequences, no challenges, no just anything hard in their lives. Like, we still want to lead them and guide them in this way that allows them to grow and become these resilient, strong, hardworking kids. At least that's how we're going to approach it.
Can someone define gentle parenting for me before I let it rip?
We're in our fuck around and find out. Sorry, I said the F-bomb, but we're in our FAFO phase of parenting. We were a little gentler in the beginning, and we have slowly transitioned to, okay, go ahead, do that. See what happens. And I can't tell you if it's going well or not. I'll report back in a few years.
I love it.
We'll report back in a few years. But yeah, we started a little gentler, and we're a little bit more on the FAFO side of things now. Let it rip, Josh.
I am a firm believer that is so needed. Like, I was kind of the opposite approach than what you guys took, Joelle. I was so hard on Kai from the beginning. Like, I've been harder on him than any of our other kids.
I wouldn't say you were like hard. Like, I guess you should probably define somewhat what that means.
FAFO from a young age, essentially.
Yeah.
Age one, screaming at Kai for dropping a crumb.
What are you yelling at your dad for? We don't yell at your dad.
Well,
Can't even talk yet.
I would have to remind you at times, like, he's just one, like he's a baby, and you'd be like,
I don't think I was joking. I don't think it was actually one.
Well,
it was probably two to an extent, but like, he's just a baby. But what was my response every time was, he is so damn smart. Like, he knows what I'm saying.
I think I would say he was just a baby when he was like 3, just to be fair.
Yes.
Like, yeah, like being the first time mom, I at the time was like, he's being so hard on him. Like, I would like then be the comfort for him. But now, like, just to put it simply, like, I was never to the point where I was like, we were not parenting the same way or like on different pages. But like, there were some times where I'd be like, you have to be a little bit nicer and like more gentle with him. He's still just this tiny little human. But now, like, poor Wes. I mean, Wes is going to be probably the toughest out of all of them. But yeah, I feel like we've also gone on a parenting journey, like going through each kid and like as they get older. And I'm sure that's normal too, like across the board. But yeah, I think
and you guys are in the same boat. Like, our first 2 kids are so different from one another.
Yes.
Like, kid 1 and kid 2 are totally different and require totally different parenting strategies.
Completely different. Yeah.
I mean, I'm starting
a fun learning experience.
I'm starting to lean into the Kai stuff with Cora now. Like, so I was hard on Kai, like I was talking about. He is the only kid. I mean, Wes is still too young, but we thought we nailed it because Kai has never had a tantrum in his life, not even remotely. I can look at him a certain way, he stops. Sorry, Dad. Yep, you're right, and it's done. And then he's not. Is he afraid of me? No. You're on mute. You got to unmute for that.
No, he's not afraid of you, but he just knows, like, don't mess around. Like, Dad's being serious. Like, okay, I need to rein it in a little bit right now.
So Kai, I could stop a quote unquote pending tantrum in its tracks with a "we're not doing this" or like a look across the room, and that's it. Has never had a tantrum in his life. I don't know what I shifted with Cora, if it's just a girl thing, like she is a tantrum princess
Mm.
and it drives me up a wall. And there
It's
was,
not just a girl thing, I don't
it's
think.
not, okay.
Because I
I
have two
don't,
girls and Sloane was tantrumless for a while. Now she has her moments here and there, but not like number two.
we'll see what happens with Wes, if it's a boy girl thing for our family or just the middle
Yeah.
child crazies or what the deal is. But no, I was definitely tougher initially. And now like we just don't have the capacity to be mad all the time, or not that we were mad all the time, but like three kids, someone's always upset. Something's always going on. You need some bandwidth to just be like, okay, step back, let them do their thing. We're not just going to be upset all day. Like somebody's always going to have something going on. All of this to say, circling back to what we were talking about with segment 2 of this conversation, you're going to pick things up along the way yourself. You're going to pick things up from your parents. If you don't like the way that they did certain things, then don't do them the same way. If you see something that you're doing that isn't working, then you don't need to keep doing it that way. Again, back to awareness. Is this benefiting or is this a detriment in some way? Can we find a way that works better? And choosing to move forward, not just, we have kids, this is just the way that it is. Somebody's always going to be crying. We're always going to be tired. No, like what is the path of least resistance? For us, it's being strict as hell with our regimen, with our routine, with bedtimes, with nap times. When those things are in place, everything else is significantly easier. The kids are in better moods. It's not perfect, but they're in better moods. They're better behaved. That's our hard stop. This is the way we're going to do it. And it's been like that since child 1 all the way through child 3. Like this is the routine. There are a lot of things we're going to miss because we're sticking with this routine, and we will lose our minds if we don't stick with this routine. And then the little things you can just refine along the way.
I will say, I feel like, yes, we've been very strict with routines, and we are still very strict with routines, but and I think I talked about this recently, but we are way more flexible with that routine. So, for example, we go to church at 11 o'clock on Sundays. Wes usually naps till close to 11 on like the normal days. So I usually put him down earlier and hope he still gets an hour in. He usually gets an hour in, so cut his nap a little short and we go to church. So like
But it's not a skipped nap. He still
well,
has
that's
the
what
nap,
I
but we
mean.
shift
It's
the time.
not throwing
Flexible with
everything out the
everything.
window, all or nothing. It's figuring out how can I shift this so that we can still do the things that we want to do as a family, but still honor the routines so that they can be their best selves too in all those ways. So I just wanted to throw that in there because we're not like by the minute here. Like we're still flexible, but that's the point. Like even with our fitness, we all have our routines. Some weeks look completely different than others as far as like when we're working out, when we're lifting, when we're running, when we're squeezing it in. Are we waking up early? Are we shifting it to later because we didn't sleep well? Like you can be routine and it can still be somewhat strict, but it doesn't have to be this way or no way at all.
I want to come back to just for a minute to wrap up the like personal responsibility side of things as it pertains to the kind of original question that I had asked you, Josh, about like the person who's maybe says, you know, I'm a product of my environment and I maybe didn't grow up with those things. There is a point in adulthood where continuing to blame your past for how you're showing up today becomes a barrier to your own growth.
Hey guys, real quick. If you haven't heard yet, the Fitness League app is launching soon, but only to our current audience. That means if you're listening right now, you'll get exclusive early access. To lock in your spot, just click the link in the show notes and join the waitlist. No spam, just the important stuff. And in case you forgot what it is, this is the app built for busy humans who want real results without the burnout. It's not another fitness tracker, it's a movement where every rep earns rewards, every habit builds momentum, and every workout levels up your story. Train smarter, compete with purpose. The Fitness League is coming soon, where your journey becomes legacy.
And no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix everything for you. You have to decide what you want and who you want to become, and then take aligned action toward that. So with that, the nuanced part of that is that acknowledging that healing is your own personal responsibility does not mean that you have to dismiss entirely how your past has shaped you. Like, yes, that is relevant, but it also, it doesn't mean that what has happened to you or what you've been through or how you were raised, it doesn't mean that that doesn't matter. It means recognizing that while you didn't choose what your starting point was, you do get to choose your direction from here.
I love that. Nobody's coming to save you. I think that can be a sobering thought for a lot of people. The government is not coming to save you. Immediate family isn't always going to be there for you, as great as they may be. It is up to you. And even on a day-to-day basis, there is no kill switch. There is no pulling the plug and jumping out of the plane and parachuting down softly. You need the things in place to save yourself, literally and figuratively. That's not anyone else's responsibility. Take ownership for yourself. And that doesn't mean dismiss the rest of the world. That's literally the opposite of what that means. You need to be fostering these quality characteristics. And from a parent's perspective, giving those to your children so that they can create a better society than we are seeing now. I don't know that we are going to be able to save the world in our generation. I believe it is truly going to be up to them. I think there are so many things that have to change. It's going to take just a new, fresh perspective to come in and wipe the slate clean. And I think that's going to start with our kids. So that's been our mission. You know, we talk about making the world a happy, healthy place. Selfishly, it's so our kids can take advantage of that. It's so that our kids have a better world to grow up in than the disgusting political environment that we see today. If we can get back to the idea that leadership truly has our best interests at heart, and we have trust in not necessarily a system. So again, no one's coming to save you, but just trust that we all believe in each other and like we're all there to be there for each other. And you don't have to watch your back all the time. Like, you know, somebody else has your back. So that's what we're working towards. But I want to kind of redirect a question to you guys. So some people might be hearing this, maybe it's resonating, maybe it's not, hopefully it is, but they're like, I don't even know where to start. How would you help them redefine self-care as self-leadership and the spark of the change and making it possible?
As it pertains to parents specifically, I would say, what do you want your kids to learn by watching you? I want my kids to see that I'm hardworking. I want my kids to see that I do hard things. I want my kids to see that I do hard things, even when I'm tired. I want my kids to see me managing work and also managing being a parent. So I think if you don't know where to start, that's a really good place, especially as a parent. Like, what do you want your kids to learn when they just watch you, when they see you?
Another way to think about that I like too, that might be another way to just resonate with some of you. Your kids are eventually going to sit down and talk about you one day. Maybe you're still around, maybe you're not. To their friends, to their family, to their grandkids. What do you want them to say about you to them? Like, when they're talking about you as a parent, how do you want them to remember you as a parent? I think that's pretty powerful, at least for me.
And if you're not a parent, you're someone listening to this who's not a parent, in terms of places to start, you can kind of follow a similar script, but like, what would I want my friends to learn from me, my family to learn from me? What do I want to contribute to the world? And I know that seems kind of like broad and maybe a little vague, but we've talked about this in a previous podcast where you can't just wish a new life upon yourself or to be someone else. You have to start showing up as the person who does those things. You want to be a fit person, you have to start showing up and doing the things a fit person would do. You want to be someone who cares about your health, you have to start showing up and doing the thing that the person who cares about their health would be doing.
How many people do you think you walk into a room of 20 people? How many of those people do you think know what their purpose in life is? You said, hey, what's your purpose in life? On the spot, this is what I'm going to do. How many out of 20?
And 10%.
I was going to say one or two.
One or two people of the 20. I agree. I don't disagree at all. And I believe that is a huge part of this. Are they lost? Are we lost as a community, as a society? I don't know what the word is. It's something
I don't know that it's lost. I mean, maybe for some people. I think it depends, but I think it's also
We've
you
lost the
go to
plot.
school, you go to college, you get a degree in whatever because you feel like you have to. You start working a job that you may or may not be passionate about because you feel like that's just what we do. And a lot of it is just this is what we do as a society. This is just what we do as an adult. This is what we're supposed to do. And you kind of just go down that road and then you wake up one day and you're like, is this what I actually want to do? And I
I think
feel like
there's
for a
also
lot of people it's not.
I think there's a false, I want to say people have the wrong priorities, but if you don't even realize that you have misprioritized things, then like you can't call them wrong priorities because like that's just someone's reality. But it makes me think of the Josiah Queen song. I think I've mentioned this to you before, Alessandra,
Your
of like
favorite song.
we've got dust on our Bibles, but brand new iPhones, and we wonder why we feel this way. It's like the first line of the song, and I find
Are
myself
you sure you're Jewish?
not me just over here listening to Christian music, but I come back to that line in my head so frequently. Something about it just really really resonates because it's not about the Bible. It's not about the Torah or the Bible or whatever the faith is. It's about like we've lost the plot and we have our focus on the wrong things. Like we've come so far from being human, being respectful, taking care of our neighbors, being good to our families, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like we got the new iPhone, we got the latest version of XYZ. And it's like that, it feels so normal because that's what everyone is doing. That's why it's hard to be like, oh, you don't have your priorities straight because you're like, that's what society is doing. That's what society, quote, is prioritizing. I think we're starting to see some of that shift, but I can't help but come back to that message and just feel like we've lost the plot. And it only takes
We
one choice or decision to change that. But I think the awareness part is huge because if you don't even realize that you're like on that trajectory, you don't realize how lost you've become.
I think that's a big question to ask and awareness to create around what is your purpose in life. Because even with certain ways to redefine, this transition from self-care to self-leadership, I think if we aren't looking at it through the paradigm of your mission in life, your purpose in life, your passion in life, and those things don't all necessarily need to be checked, but it's one of those as a driver, that's where courage comes from. So it's the courage to choose growth, understanding you're not stuck, whether you realize it or not, you're just scared to outgrow the version of you that survived. When you can go back and say, this is what I am here to do, you will have this newfound courage that you didn't know existed. Because right now you might just be, a cog in the machine. You might just be, this is what I do, and we're going to repeat every single day. I show up to work, I come home, I da 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 da. This is just the process, like an assembly line. It is not hard to understand why you feel overwhelmed, overstressed, unfulfilled when you aren't choosing things that fulfill you. So to open it up and to give you guys a real world example and to be completely raw with where we are and what we're doing and what's on the line, like we are all in on what we're doing right now. We during our conversation on Friday, the burnt out, we need to figure something else conversation that we had, in the midst of that, it's like, this is very hard. I don't want to say that it sucks because there are parts of this that I fucking love. This is so hard and I love it because we're doing something we believe in. And we truly believe in the change that this is going to make and the tools that we are going to be able to provide once the Fitness League fully launches through coaching, yes, and another new level through the app with the Fitness League. Once this thing comes out and once we are able to continue putting resources into V2, 3, 4, 5, all the things we already have laid out, there is no doubt in my mind we're going to change the world. And that is why we're here, to make the world a happy, healthy place. For all the other reasons we just mentioned, what that's going to change for your mental health, your physical health, what that looks like as a community. It's not specifically so you can go home and have a six pack and, feel great taking your shirt off in front of your wife. Like, yes, I want that for you. But because you feel so good, that feeling is the reason why we're doing this. Right now, you don't feel good. You don't look good. You don't perform well. Everything else crumbles around you when that is true. I'm not saying you specifically listening right now. I'm just saying when those are true, life is typically not very good. So when we resolve certain things and give you tools to improve your mental health, your physical health, maybe it's time management because we're showing you how to allocate certain pieces to certain pieces, everything gets better. So that is our purpose. And we are literally all in. Like there is no other way. This has to take off or you won't be seeing us for a while. This is
We'll be
all
homeless.
the chips. We will be homeless. This is all chips to the middle of the table because we know the world needs this and we are passionate about it. And this is what we are supposed to do. So the scary decisions we make on a daily basis and zooming out and like, holy shit, if this doesn't go this way or that doesn't go, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Not worried about that. This is the singular focus. It's not scary when you believe in what you're doing. And if you don't believe in what you're doing, everything is scary. Everything is hard. Everything is overwhelming. Nothing is fulfilling. So how can we find joy when we are unfulfilled? And it's not the car. It's not the iPhone. It's not the house. You don't need money and resources to have a purpose. Your purpose could be being the best member of your community you could possibly be. It could be helping the less fortunate. What does that take? An hour on the weekend? Go volunteer at a homeless shelter? Pass out blankets before winter? Help clean up the school? Doing those things will make you 1,000 times more happy, make you 1,000 times more fulfilled than anything you could go buy. Go win the lottery and buy your own island. You'll still feel empty. If you are not doing the things that actually mean something to you in your soul, in the depths of your soul, doesn't mean a damn thing. So that's the first step. Asking yourself, what is your purpose in life? And from there, you'll find all the courage and motivation you need. Listen, if you're tired of the all or nothing cycles, the diet starts Monday, the I know what to do, I'm just not doing it feeling, we should probably talk. Our one-on-one online coaching isn't just about workouts and meal plans. It's about building something that actually fits your life. No cookie cutter templates, no guilt, just real coaching and real results. Plus, we've got a pretty big team, so we can even pair you with an expert who actually understands your lifestyle because they've gone through it too. If that sounds like what you've been missing, check out the link in the show notes to apply for coaching. Then we'll send you the link to book a free, no obligation consult call with our team. There are no hard closes. We won't even take your credit card over the phone. You'll get the details to sign up on your own time. And more good news, we are in fact qualified for HSA FSA reimbursement. One last thing, we even offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. What are you waiting for? Spots are limited, so apply today. All right, let's get back to the show.
I agree. I'm also reading a book right now called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer, I think is his name. I just started it maybe like a week or so ago. It is something, I mean, it's a faith-based book, but I still think there's so many, even if you don't believe in Jesus, it still has so many important messages in it. And one of the things that it really has touched on so far is how important it is to, obviously you can tell by the title, it's all about slowing down. And I think in this day and age, like, we are never bored. We have access to everything at our fingertips. We take our phones with us everywhere. But it really highlights the importance of taking a Sabbath and having a day where you literally, phones down, work down, everything shuts off. You don't go shopping. You don't clean the house. You don't do anything. You genuinely spend time with your family. Maybe you read together as a family. Maybe you pray together. You make some meals that you enjoy. Like it can be a lot of different things, but it's less about go, 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 go every day, all day, which I know is most of our realities right now, and slowing down just for that one day. Because even though it's one day out of the week, it's enough to reset you and to make you remember why you're here and what you're focusing on, and just remind you that you should be grateful. You have so much in your life to be grateful for. So I wanted to share that because I think it's something that, I'm going to take more seriously, and hopefully some of you can start to implement. I know a lot of different work schedules and things might not make it possible, but if you can take one day per week where you just shut it down I truly think like how much your dad was talking about it too the other day, like how he wishes Sundays, like you didn't get Amazon deliveries Sundays, stores closed down, restaurants closed down, everybody could just truly rest. Like that's what Sunday should, or whatever day you want it to be, should be. I know it's Saturdays, I think, for my Jewish friends, right?
In Israel, that's how it is. Like you can't even catch a flight from Friday night to Saturday night is Shabbos or Shabbat. And that's our day of rest. There are no flights running. Like restaurants are like things are closed. The Jewish country basically closes down, and that time is encouraged to just be with your family.
Could you picture America doing that right now? No,
Just
I
shutting down
can't.
on a Sunday.
But like, I truly think like that could be such a powerful thing if people truly like, let's say like your phone's like shut up, like everything just truly shut down. Like, I would be so curious to see like how much or how many of our problems are resolved just by that happening.
Well, do you remember that 1 week during COVID? Like everything was shut down, and they were saying like all the rivers became clean. 1 week. It was 1 week. Rivers were cleaner. There were whales swimming in the river in New York. It was like,
I don't know if it was whales. I think it was dolphins, but
Hudson,
something like that.
But something like that. I also remember, like, not to get off topic here, but during that time when there was nothing open and you couldn't leave the house, like, you watched all the shows, you caught up on all the Netflix, and then we were like bored of TV. And Brant and I were like playing Scrabble and like board games. And like this was pre-kids, but we were just playing card games. Like, let's just do cards tonight instead of Netflix. And like we're just sitting and talking and like playing games. And we're like not really on our phones and we're not really on Netflix because it was just like you got bored. You got bored of the stuff that you usually did when you were bored. And like there was, it's just interesting to reflect back on that and just, I mean, it's also just weird to like, we lived through that. That was weird.
times.
Wild, wild times. And you guys had a newborn pretty much during that.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anywho,
what a time.
we're going to wrap up this conversation with the reminder that change doesn't come in one big moment. It's built in the ways you keep showing up. Take what you learned today and build the best version of yourself for tomorrow. Where can they find you?
I'm at Alessandra Skutnik.
At Joelle Samantha.
At Josh Skutnik.
And everything else you need is linked in the show notes.